was shaking, my knees were weak. I couldn't see straight. Bring it down, son. Steve was there. Come here, Steve. Steve was there with me. We were sitting at the bar. We were scared to death. We said, bartender, somebody tried to blow us up tonight. That's right. We said, bartender, are you loose? We said, bartender, somebody tried to blow us up tonight. He looked at me and said, son, are you loose? I said, yeah. And there I was, and Clarence came in the bar. Clarence shuffled in his white suit. The people, I want to tell you now that the people over at the Vista didn't know what was happening. That is a weird joint. So there we was. I was sitting at the bar, Steve was at the bar, Clarence was at the bar. We was drinking our skulls out. And that's when it happened. That's when it happened. It got very serious for a minute. I sat back, I seen what was coming. I took a big gulp. My knees started shaking, my heart started beating faster than it ever had. I said, Steve, you know. I had a lump in my throat when I saw her walking down the aisle. I had a wiggle in my knees when she came to me and sweetly smiled. I said, Stephen, who's that little queen standing over by the record machine? Looking like a model on the cover of a magazine. She's too cute to be a minute over 17. One day, meanwhile, I was silly, but I was still thinking.
What are you thinking about, Bob?
What, Steve?
What are you thinking about?
I was thinking,
Yeah.
this is my, she's in the mood. Reagan, this is my chance.
It is.
I ought to take it.
Go ahead, baby.
If she can dance,
Do it.
we can make it.
I know that.
Come on, Queenie.
Come on, baby.
Let's shake.
Let's shake it. Go, go, go.
Little Queenie.
Go, go, go.
Little Queenie.
Go, go, go.
Little Queenie. And meanwhile, by this time I was on my knees. I want to tell you the bar. I was on my knees at the bar. I was a sad and sorry sight. But I was planning my strategy. And I thought to myself, yeah, if it's a slow one, we'll admit it. If it's a rocker, Dad'll get it. If it's good, she'll admit it. Come on, Queenie. Get with it. Come on, baby. Little Queenie. you to be a man at over 17.
Are you loose? Said it many times, and if you've ever listened to this show before, you just might know where that's where we get our name for the show from. That particular song came from the Milwaukee bomb scare show, 1975. They were halfway through their show, and someone called in a bomb scare, and they went back to the Hotel Pfister, which is, if you're familiar with Milwaukee, it's a landmark hotel up there and very hoity-toity inside. And here comes this group of ragamuffin musicians coming in and straggling up to the bar, and they literally did sit there and drink until all of a sudden they get called back saying everything's free to come back and you can continue with the show. And that's exactly what they did. And they were loose, to be exact. And you are getting loose with Bruce, heard every Monday at 5 o'clock. And the song, of course, Little Queenie, originally done by the late Chuck Berry. And hard to believe. Well, not hard to believe. The guy is 90 years old. I mean, he had a great life. A little hard in the beginning. Had a few brushes with the law here and there, but for the most part, pretty much considered one of the founding fathers of rock and roll. Don't know how the world would have been without him, because I'll tell you, he went and influenced a whole generation or two of musicians. Don't know how that influence would hold up today, and how it's kind of transcended down through the generations. I'm going to talk to Tyler Lang when he gets in here at 5:30 about maybe his opinion of that, considering he's out there with the younger groups of musicians and people that are in clubs nowadays. Again, it's kind of hard to say. But I'll tell you, without the majority of these songs, I don't know where we would have been, because there was just basically people that were revolutionizing music at the time was Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, maybe Little Richard, and I'd say a lot of Little Richard. But Elvis didn't write his own songs. Elvis didn't really perform much other than on his guitar. Great singer, of course. But there's a few like Chuck who wrote the music, performed it, et cetera, and really hit a nerve with a lot of these youngsters, especially the Beatles over in England, and the Rolling Stones, of course. He was basically Keith Richards' hero. And like I said, and that transcended down even to the next generation with Bruce and a lot of these musicians from this late 60s and into the 70s. So if you were a bar band out there, that's some of the songs you did, those early middle 50 chestnuts of his. So anyway, like I said, that was Little Queenie. Happy spring, happy St. Patrick's Day. It was a very nice weekend, a little brisk, but today is just gorgeous. And nice lead into spring, so hopefully it'll stick around here for a little while. So what I had on tap, I gave this a lot of thought. Bruce covered a lot of his songs. We'll probably finish up the last half of the show with those. But what I thought was, after I played that, of course, opening, I was like, all right, what am I going to do? I realized that I had sat here about a year and a half ago, sitting with Tyler and talking about Chuck Berry. Obviously, he was still alive, and it was probably, again, one of those things where it's like, okay, I sometimes will mix different influences with Bruce, and he does cover, like I said, a lot of people, so it's just one of those shows. So what I thought I'd do is I'll play that. There was some interview stuff spliced in on there, and then a couple of live songs. I know Tony was playing a lot of his songs here today, so if there's any duplicates, sorry about that, but, they're worth playing. They're great. They'll never die. So here is from September the 7th of 2015. This was us talking about Chuck Berry, and I should say other people talking about it, and a few songs there mixed in. I think there's Johnny B. Good from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in there, and then Bruce did was over in, I think it was I don't want to say for sure where it was at because I'll screw it up. I think it was Germany, and he did a beautiful cover of You Never Can Tell. So let's get right to that, and then that'll probably take us almost right to the break, and then we'll be back after that, and maybe Tyler will be here by then. We can talk about a little bit of how Chuck influenced him, and then we'll play some of those covers. So here we go.
You know, it's funny, I was never in a backup band for Chuck Berry, and Bruce Springsteen tells the story. He was in one of them. Ronnie Newmeyer, a bass player friend of mine, did one. Everyone who says the story is Chuck shows up, has to get paid first, never communicates with the band, just starts playing, and you have to follow along. He's not known for his, bedside manner. And one of the great moments, we were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The E Street Band had been broken up basically since '89, and '92 or '93 when the hall opened. We backed up Jerry Lee Lewis. It was great. We played a few E Street songs, which was great. And just that whole day there, watching Al Green's sound check was one of the highlights of my life. And you had to be there, but that's another story. So anyway, at the end, Chuck comes out. We're backing up Chuck Berry, and I think you have, G.E. Smith with his great band. You got Steve Van Zandt, Chrissy Hine, Bruce Springsteen, myself, 2 or 3 other amazing guitarists. And Chuck's out there. I got an acoustic guitar. I'm just trying to get something together. It's real free form. And again, we're just going to do something off the cuff. And Chuck, again, not too communicative. He's standing there and he starts playing. Well, we're all pros, so we start following along. Somehow, a minute or two in, he shifts the song in gears and a key without talking to us. Now we all, we're pros, right? So we're all trying not to make a train wreck, and it's tricky, but okay, what key is he in? Let's start playing there. Then he shifts keys again, and he shifts keys 4 or 5 times. I can only imagine to mess with us. I can't imagine why else this happened. And we're all looking around at each other, the cast of characters and the backup band. These are pros, decades in. And we are making these horrible sounds collectively in front of a stadium sold out. And we're looking at each other like, this can't be happening, right? We're not creating this thing we're listening to. Yes, we are. And at the height of it, when no one has an idea how to fix this, Chuck looks at us all and starts looking at us, duck walking off the stage, away from us. He leaves the stage, leaves us all out there playing in 6 different keys with no band leader, gets in a car and drives away. Now, if that's not rock and roll, and I love Chuck Berry, but man, it's funny, all these years and stories of, did you ever back up Chuck? No. Well, I got my chance. And man, it was everything that was promised and more. It was so bad that on the ride back, we kind of started talking like this, and I was in a van, and there's a lot of other good stuff going on that day, but Bruce and I started talking about that because I don't think the two of us, we've been in a lot of clubs together and jams separate from the E Street Band, and I don't think the two of us have ever participated in something that god-awful musically since we were probably 13 or 14. I didn't even start playing until I was 14. And the fact that we did that in a stadium, in an event like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame opening, it was just so insane and absurd and bad that we got into those laughing jags where you can't stop laughing. We were howling, and then when we could barely talk, we'd explain another awful thing that happened with Chuck as our leader, and we just couldn't. It was just hilarious and awful all at once.
Country boy named Johnny B. Good never learned to read or write so well.
Johnny Be Good. At least Chuck didn't leave him hanging there. It would be the next song that I guess he left him hanging. But funny story. And again, I can't find audio of it anywhere. So maybe they the Rock Hall just got rid of it. I can't figure out why else. But because maybe it really truly was that bad. Maybe there's bootlegs floating around out there of it somehow, some way. I'll have to see if I can dig it up. All right, so we're gonna finish off this segment with about the Rock Hall and their little association with the great Chuck Berry. And this is Bruce talking about him backing up Chuck. And then instead of playing, obviously, that song I can't find, I came up with the them covering the Chuck Berry classic, You Never Can Tell, which I played on here before. But it's a great version. Him getting the band, instructing the band how to play it. And it's a great cut from, I think it was working on a Dream Tour. I'll look that up before I come back. Anyway, this is Bruce, and then You Never Can Tell.
About 5 minutes before the show was time to start, the back door opens and he comes in, he's by himself, and he's got a guitar case, and that was it. I guess he pulled up in his own car or something, didn't have anybody with him, and he comes into the band room, and we said, well, great, so it's about, he says, we're going to go on. I said, well, Chuck, he said, like what? What songs are we going to do? He says, well, we're going to do some Chuck Berry songs. That's all he says.
I got it. Got that horns? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can you do it? Try it, boys. Let's hear you help us. Crowd once more.
Yes, they made it up out of nothing.
WRL.
Hi, this is Liam. You're listening to WRLR LP FM 98.3.
Yeah, thank you much, Liam. We are back on Getting Loose with Bruce, heard every Monday here on WRLR 98.3 out of Round Lake Heights. My buddy Tyler just popped in. Mr. Garage Noise himself. How you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm happy it's a nice day out today.
It's nice. Spring has arrived in full force.
Yeah, normally we come in here and it's, even in the summertime, it's hazy.
Seems like it's, yeah. I listened to an old show recently, and it just happened to be like one of those days. It was like, oh, my rainy days and Mondays thing. Here we go again, right? But no, so did you have a nice St. Patty's Day? And...
Yeah, I had a good time, but we lost.
Yeah, I was.
I know that's what the episode's about. I know you've talked about it already.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing was, I learned about it sitting down ready to watch a concert, which
really?
I never ever do anymore. Back in December, I bought tickets for that Brit Floyd, which is for my kids' Christmas, and so it was me and the wife and the kids. Well, the kids are older now. Right. I mean, but we went and saw a most phenomenal.
Yeah, what did they do? Just everything?
Yeah, they picked from different periods.
Did they do any Sid Barrett?
Yeah, well, yes, they did one early.
Great.
It was Arnold Lang, I think, or Emily Play. I don't remember which one.
They're very similar.
I don't remember, Matt. No, it was really.
It was pretty smoky in there, It
was actually the most unbelievable show I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, they do the whole light show. Right?
Oh God Almighty! It was just crazy. So I was sitting down waiting for the show to start, and just happened to pull my phone out and just look, and saw the first thing on Facebook was R.I.P. Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fitting thing,
Yeah. Tim texted me. I was heading to a friend's house. I burst into tears for a good 15 seconds.
Really?
And I cry at movies, but I'm not a big crier when people die.
Yeah.
But Chuck Berry, for me, the influence of Chuck Berry in terms of, introducing me to rock and roll.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because I said earlier when I first started the show, when I said that you were going to be on here in the middle to see how the influence has gone anywhere past maybe the 70s generation of kids. And, I said, I wouldn't know. I'm not out there like you are in some of these bars and scene. Yeah, the scene.
Everybody posted about Chuck Berry.
Really?
Yeah. I saw, and only a couple of them were the negative ones.
Do you honestly still think that he was, mean, obviously the influence goes in order.
Yes.
Right? So
you go from, 50s. You have your 60s British invasion bands and garage rock bands. Then you have the evolution of that into punk rock and into stuff in the late 70s. And all these bands have been covering Chuck Berry and using Chuck Berry riffs. Like, I'm going to play the MC5 doing Chuck Berry. I'm going to even play the Grateful Dead doing Chuck Berry.
Oh, really?
Just to show that direct influence.
Okay.
But then, in terms of influencing people, everyone was sharing their stories. I had at least 3 or 4 people, musicians, being like, the first song I ever learned on guitar was Johnny Be Good. That first riff I learned.
I posted that clip today. You saw it, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
That thing from Back to the Future.
I was going to say that, that's my, if we talked about movies, it's my favorite movie of all time. I think it's the best piece of American cinema.
I love it too,
ever. But that scene, watching that as a little kid, it was, this song is amazing. What kind of music is this? What is this? And then, years
to
later,
learn that it's like 30 years old at that point.
Learn that this is a joke that he's playing.
But it's funny with the cousin is like, Chuck,
it's your cousin Marvin Berry.
So yeah, that cracks me up. And of course the Beatles built their early career on his stuff. Ever listened to like the BBC broadcasts are full of Chuck Berry songs.
Yeah, we're playing
Star Club stuff, early song. Yeah,
we're playing rock and roll music.
Okay, good.
Because we had a couple covers, but then we have, just the hits.
Yeah, I mean, George Harrison basically built his whole early thing off of Roll Over Beethoven, because that was one of the few songs that he really had big control of there in the early beginnings. So, but Bruce's statement yesterday was Chuck Berry was rock's greatest practitioner, guitarist, and the greatest pure rock and roll writer who ever lived. This is a tremendous loss of a giant for the ages.
That's great. I mean, it's so accurate too.
Yeah, he obviously people would contest that. I was listening to that 28 Great.
Yes, 28 Great's an excellent compilation.
Every song sounds the same.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. If people
Everyone's
tuning
got
into our show, they're going to say there's 3 different riffs.
But they're different.
But they're different songs.
It's so
the way he sings. It's the way he does the melodies on
Yeah.
the vocal parts.
I couldn't get over it. It's like, this is Johnny B. Good, right? And then, you know, but it's different. The lyrics, of course, make it different. The solos, the backings. He had a great backing band, Willie Dixon being the main one through most of the chess period.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, just great stuff. So without much ado here, I'm going to get to the first Bruce cover. I got 4 of them, so we'll see if we can fit them in or not. This is from all the way back. Now, a lot of these are from your period that you
Point?
like.
Are you playing Main Point?
Main Point is on there for Back in the USA.
Fantastic. I was going to play that. That's one of my favorites.
Okay, I'll play it again. Play it again, Sam, right? Carol is up first. This is from the Hammersmith in November 75.
Steal your heart away. I got to learn to dance if it take me all night and day. Command to my machine and we will move on out. I got a swing a little jungle, we can jump and shout. Not too far back off the highway, not so long. Park your car in the open and you walk inside. A little cutie, take your head and you say thank you, man. Every time I hit the place, I know the door is shut. Oh, cow, don't ever steal your heart away. Oh, I got to learn to dance, it will take me all night and day. If you wanna hear some boogie like the boys are playing, hold tight to me, baby, don't you glide. Don't the music jig you when they play so loud. And he get to you when they draw that crowd. Dance, dance, honey, I would if I could. On your baby, cause it dance so good.
USA. I start to shake. I break out in a cold sweat. I jump into the audience. I start to twitch. I stutter. Get me to a job. Open grill, not a day. And the jukebox is Thank you. Thank WLR and all the people in Philadelphia.
All right, that was Bruce doing Back in the USA, back at the Main Point. There was a little tiny club up there in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, and that was from 1975, February 75. And then before that was Carol, which a little bit later in that year, but after Born to Run had come out, so his career had taken a big swing since that first song, or the Back in the USA there. So we're celebrating Chuck Berry's music today, of course. I think every show is probably doing a little something. I know Tyler's got some stuff coming up on his, and Bruce was a big fan, going way back to his bar band days, and even probably before that. Everybody covered him, and so what I try to do here is get a few of these covers in before the end of the show. This one coming up was an all-star benefit for some homeless kids back in December of 87, and it was just him by himself, no band, anything like. But he joined. From what I saw in the video, I wasn't even sure what the benefit was, but when I typed in Springsteen and Chuck Berry, I got this one came up for rock and roll music. So this is from a benefit from 1987.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's got a backbeat, you can't lose it. Man, any old time you use it. It's gotta be rock and roll music. Well, if you wanna dance with me, hey, if you wanna dance with me, I took my loved one over across the track. Let's see my man, they had a way to sing. I gotta say they had a rockin' band. Well, they were going like a hurricane, and they were playing that rock and roll music. Any old way you choose it. It's not a backbeat, you can't lose it. Any old time you use it. It's gotta be rock and roll music. Well, if you wanna dance with me, I got no kick against the model jam. Unless you try to play it, you don't dance. And listen to the young melody until it's nothing like a melody. And when I go for that rock and roll music, any old way you choose it. You got a backbeat, you can't lose it. Any old time you use it. You rock and roll music. If you wanna dance with me, if you wanna dance with me.
Off-the-cuff version.
Yes. You can tell it wasn't practiced.
Yeah. Anyway, that was rock and roll music, of course. One of Chuck's songs that have been done by oodles of people.
Pretty much everybody.
Pretty much. And you've got some what do you got coming up on your show with?
Well, of course we have
a little of this, little
75
of that.
Chuck Berry songs, but the MC5, Grateful Dead, Bob Seger, the Beatles, and
so during
Nobody.
Mostly covers of.
Well, yeah, and those were all the covers, and then everything else is just straight Chuck Berry stuff.
Okay, interesting.
We'll play the hits, but we also have some deeper cuts that both of us picked out.
Okay, good.
And then we'll talk about Chuck Berry and his influence,
Okay.
and all that jazz.
And I will listen as long as I can.
All right.
All right, I'm going to do one more on the way out here, and then you're up next here with the Garage Noise. This is Sweet Little 16 from 1978. He must have been around September because he said something about him. It's like a birthday thing for him or something.
Oh, okay.
I would assume it might have been the Passaic
Nights.
Yeah. So here's Sweet Little 16. Thanks for listening, folks. We will talk to you all next week. Have a lovely week.
Sweet little 16. All right. Really? All right, it's a birthday song to myself. How's that? 16 going on 102. Yeah, really right. I got it. Really rockin' them balls. Pittsburgh, PA. Deep in the heart of Texas. Right up the Frisco Bay. All over St. Louis. We're down in New Orleans. With all the cats on the dance with Sweet little 16. Sweet little 16. She's got the grown-up blues. Tight dresses and lipstick. She's worn high heel shoes. Up tomorrow morning, should I not change your trend? And these sweet 16, you're back in class again. Philadelphia, deep in the heart of the state, right up the snowman. Long St. Louis, and down in New Orleans, where all the cats wanna dance with Sweet little 16. She's just got the hair, about $500,000, a famed all the breast. Well, while I spin with pictures, she gets up one by one. She gets so excited, so much to look at her. Oh, Daddy, please say I could. It's such a sight to see. Somebody steal the show. Oh, I'm begging of you. Whisper to Daddy, it's all right with me. Deep in the heart of Texas, blow my nose on my shirt.